Do start early. We wouldn't miss our last opportunity to sear this into your brain. The most valuable asset an applicant has in the college essay writing process is time, along with the belief that everyone has a story to tell, of course. Rome wasn't built in a day, and most great college essays are not pulled together in one fretful night, or week even. Starting early allows the time needed to sift through topic ideas, export massive amounts of free writing onto the page, organize and structure your story, and polish, polish, polish. An essay that has time to simmer and cook for a while. One that you can taste and adjust and sample again until you know you have it just right, is going to be much more successful than its ready in 2 minutes microwavable counterpart. Plus, the process of cooking up a winning essay is much less stressful, dare we even say fun, when you have time on your side. Do organize your work. We have a secret for you. We often leave dishes in the sink for more than 24 hours. Our rooms are reprehensibly messy. We cannot keep track of our keys for the life of us, and we only know where our shoes are because they are laced to our feet. However, when it comes to college essay files, we are hyper, almost criminally organized, and you should be too. It is so important to label your drafts as you work in a way that is systematic and searchable. We recommend labeling things with your essay name, the date, and the version number. For example, a draft of the Common App essay would be labeled like this. If you take a new departure from the story on the same day, make a version 2. This kind of organization will help you enormously as you move forward. And knowing approximately when you created each version is much more helpful when you're looking for some specific detail you've created in the past. Do be sincere. Nothing is less convincing to an admissions officer than a story that feels fabricated or lacks heart. A school is interested in who you are, what you value, and what you will add to their community. You don't need to fake it. Be real. Work with everything you've got, and you've got a lot. Sincerity and truth are going to be some of your most effective personal sales tools. Do brand yourself. We don't just want you to be yourself. We want you to be a deliberate version of yourself. A systematically selected, distilled embodiment of the most amazing you can be. What are you trying to communicate about yourself to admissions? Are you generous? Are you motivated? What is the phrase your admissions officer will attach to you after reading your essay? Are you the graduation speaker? Are you the donut-eating runner? Make sure you are able to boil your message down to something simple and concrete, and that you will leave a quick, deep impression in an admissions officer's mind before you close the computer and call it a day. Do take calculated risks. Note that the word calculated is important here. You need to be able to separate a good risk from a bad one. Telling a story about that time you got caught stealing a carton of ice cream from the supermarket? Probably not a good risk. Stealing is bad, even if ice cream is involved. Writing about the time you challenged your school's administration in defense of a friend? That sounds like it could be a story worth sharing. When it comes to risk-taking in your essay, don't ignore your instincts. Is one of your references too saucy to submit to the admissions board at Yale? If you have to ask, you probably already know. We want you to be creative and dabble outside of your comfort zone, especially during brainstorming and free writing. But don't unnecessarily push your luck, or you'll end up in the rejection pile. Do choose your advisors wisely. College essay writing can be a daunting process, and you are likely going to want to get some advice along the way. That said, there are a few things to consider when choosing who to entrust with your words and your potentially fragile essay writing ego. Consult with people whose advice you trust, but who you also know will give you non-judgmental, constructive feedback. Additionally, stick to 1 or 2 advisors tops. We know it's tempting to send your near-final draft to your English teacher and your best friend's Aunt Trudy, who once judged a writing competition in 1942, but spare yourself the agony of dumping a million opinions into the pot. Stick with the clear, refreshing advice of 1 or 2 people rather than muddying up the waters. Do listen to your gut. You might not have known it at the start of this series, but you have so many things to say. Furthermore, deep down, you know how you want to say them. Trust what feels right. Reject what feels wrong. When you read through your final essay, does it sound and feel like you? Are you happy with the messages you're communicating? You are the only one who knows the answers to these questions. Trust yourself. When it comes to the subject of you, guess what? You're the expert. Do entertain. We're not saying you have to stuff dinosaurs and hamburger references into every other paragraph of your essay, though that sounds interesting. But you should think about what might make admissions officers smile. Maybe they will be sucked into the momentum of your fast-paced story, or drawn deep into the emotional core of your hyper-personal revelation. Maybe they will simply chuckle aloud at your description of your skateboarding aunt, or smile when they think about the time they took a similar kayaking trip down the river with their fathers. You want a total stranger to come to your essay knowing nothing about you, and leave feeling better acquainted with the person you are and curious about the person you're going to become. And you want them to feel like the 2 or 3 minutes spent reading your essay was time well spent. Do submit to the relatively random nature of the process. At the end of the day, when all the essays are written and all the submit buttons are pressed with the shaky force of your nervous fingers, all that counts is that you have done your best. A huge hunk of the admissions process is determined by a combination of luck and a host of other circumstances that are out of your control. Maybe the school is looking for a tuba player and you just don't play the tuba. So try to relax, craft the best package you can, send your applications off to land on your target school's internet doorsteps, and be proud of yourself. You have written multiple, thoughtful, well-constructed college admissions essays. You have explored the frontiers of self-reflection and searched even the dustiest corners of your brain for crafty ideas, new twists on well-worn subjects, unexpected wordplay, and disarming honesty to reel in your admissions officer and win his or her loyalty and affection. Now, all you can do is cross your fingers and your toes, pray to the ice cream gods, and take what happens in stride. Do call for help. If, after watching this series, you are still staring at a blank page, call us.